Hello, I'm Jason Fox, and welcome to another Isolated Talk. If you know me, it would probably be because you follow Lee Cloud's Beard on Twitter. If you don't know me, well, that's probably my loss, because I'm sure you're an outstanding individual whom I would like to know. Whether you would like to know me remains to be seen. Today, as the world continues to spiral out of control, I'm going to ignore all that and discuss you. Especially you, if you are one of the many people in our industry who now finds themselves, as they say, between projects. I have been there myself many times. Technically, I'm still there myself right now because I've been freelancing for almost 4 years now for this go around. This would be, I believe, the fourth time I've been out on my own freelancing, so I understand what you're going through. So I'm going to offer just a short little take on what you can do to hopefully restore some confidence, understand that your job is not everything that makes you who you are, and one more exercise that will keep you ready to go when opportunity re-emerges, which it will in one form or another. First, I would advise you to make a list of all the things that make you good at your job. All the things you now know that you bring to the table when it's time to produce something. When you started out in this industry, I'm guessing you had a very small and focused set of skills. If you were an art director coming out of an art institute, you knew color theory, you knew some design, you knew those things that any art director should know at the outset. As a writer, such as myself, I knew how to turn a phrase, I knew proper grammar, I could make some really good sarcastic remarks. Beyond that, I had a marketing degree, which, allowed me to argue with the account people to a certain extent, but how to present to clients, how to concept, what was cliche, what was new, all those things had to be learned. And in over 20 years of being in the industry, I really hope I have learned them. So make that list. I started on my own. It's ongoing. You can do 3 or 4 a day, see how long it gets. Try doing them all at once and see how long it takes you to do that. You'll be surprised. Get as focused and specific as you prefer. If you want to talk about production knowledge that you now have, go deep. Talk about how you know Final Cut Pro and this plugin and noise reduction and color correction and all those things. That's my own personal hobby, so I do know those things. But you don't care, but that's okay, because it's about me and about you and what you bring to the table. I will warn you that doing this might make you actually a little more upset that you've recently been made redundant or laid off or flat out fired. Because how could those people who have done such things let someone of your caliber go? And to that I have no argument. So if you find your ire rising within you, maybe take a break, have a cookie, or a piece of the 18 loaves of bread that you've recently baked. It'll do you some good. And when you're done with that list, whether it takes you a few days, or a couple of weeks, or just a few hours, or 10 minutes if you're incredibly fast and fastidious and such things, wad it up and throw it away. No, do not do that. Do not do that at all. You worked too hard on that list. And it's great for an interview when your mind goes blank, when someone asks what you actually bring to the table. You can whip out your phone and call up that list and have plenty to go on. Instead, make a second list. A list of all the things that make you you. Things you're good at, things you enjoy, things outside the world of advertising or marketing or design or whatever industry niche you prefer to associate with. What are those things that make you you? Because you're not your job. And that's really hard for a lot of us in advertising, especially on the creative side, but not necessarily limited to the creative side. We are our work. We're constantly told to not take things personally. Sorry, the best people in our business do take things personally because we draw upon our personalities and our experiences to make the things we make. And when they are rejected, it doesn't matter how tough a skin we have or have developed. It still hurts. And we have to be able to get over that and not put our entire identity within our work. So give that a shot. If you're one of those people who gets devastated at the thought of someone telling you you can't work here anymore, this will be good. It took me a long time to get to this point, so I'm not saying spend 10 minutes and hey, everything's fixed, but it will be a good start for you. Finally, we need to stay sharp. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching a video on YouTube because, I can't bake bread, or much of anything else for that matter. I can toast the perfect Pop-Tart, though, so if you need any tips on that, give me a shout. It was by the famed bass player, because there are such things, Leland Sklar. Now, Lee Sklar has been playing the bass for over 60 years. He's been James Taylor's bassist for over 50 years. If you are a child of the 80s or of a certain age and remember Phil Collins videos from that era, you would have seen Lee Sklar. He has a fantastic beard. Apparently, I cannot escape people named Lee who have fantastic beards. Nonetheless, he started a YouTube channel because he's self-isolating, just as we all have been. And even though he's in his 70s, he decided now is the time to get on YouTube and teach other bass players some of his most famous lines. At the start of one of these, and I think it was the one for Sussudio, a song you either love or hate, depending on if you are right or wrong, and I will judge you accordingly. And he was apologizing because he hadn't been able to play for a few days because he had a hand injury and his hand was too sore to play. And he knew his skills had already started to diminish because he plays every day. He practices every day. So not being able to play for 4 or 5 days left him feeling rusty. Well, if this world-class performer can feel rusty after only a few days, what about us? What about our skills? I know I've been in situations, I've been at agencies, and I haven't had a really juicy project for a while. If I haven't taken the time to work on things on my own, then when something really good comes up, it takes some time to spool up, to shake off the rust. The skills are there, but they're kind of buried, and you need to bring them back. So instead of having to do that when opportunity arises, take the time to stay sharp. Keep your chops up, as Mr. Sklar would say. If you're a writer, you don't have to write that screenplay or that novel. Write a few tweets. That's what I've done for 11 years as Lee Clow's beard. Do that. Stay a little focused. If you're an art director your room. Redo your office. Do some actual spec work. It's okay to be in the business for 25 years and still do some spec work. It's fun. If you're a designer, design some logos. Other designery things. I'm not a designer. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you're an account person, learn to write a brief. How about that? Let's go with that one for now. Just don't practice calling people and asking where their timesheets are or to give an estimate that you're going to ignore anyway. You're already good at that. That's just a joke, by the way. I really love good account people. They make my life so much easier. So, know what you're good at, which is a vast array of skills that you didn't start in this industry with. Know what makes you you beyond the industry, and stay sharp. And in doing so, you might find new opportunities that you'd like to pursue. You might have renewed focus to go after the goal you had set 10 years ago. Maybe, just maybe, you'll have a little fun and not carbo load quite so much. Until you see me online, feel free to donate to the Samaritans. I would ask you and encourage you to donate to the Samaritans. They're doing good work for people who can really use it right now. You can find me at Lee Clow's Beard on Twitter, or if you like the ramblings of my personal self, I apologize in advance. You can find me at Jason_Fox. Have a good one.